Today, we're building the incredible story of Lego. Now, this is a toy that has basically been a part of childhood for generations, right? But it's so much more than that. It's an entire empire built on something far more powerful than just little plastic bricks.
So I want to just start with this number, $300,000. Just let that sit for a second. What in the world of Legos could possibly be worth that much? I mean, are we talking about a life-sized car made of bricks? A solid gold theme park?
Nope. It's the price for a single, tiny, little minifigure. Yeah. This is a 14-karat solid gold C3PO from back in 2007. Only 5 of these were ever made for a magazine giveaway, which makes it one of the rarest toys on the entire planet. And the fact that it even exists, well, that raises a really interesting question.
And that's really our big question for today. How on earth did a simple plastic toy, made for kids to play with, turn into a priceless treasure and a global phenomenon? To figure that out, we have to go all the way back to the beginning.
So, our story doesn't start with plastic. It actually starts with wood in a small, quiet carpentry shop in Billund, Denmark. So, the founder, a guy named Ole Kirk Christiansen, started his business way back in 1916. But it was the Great Depression that really changed things. He had to pivot from making furniture to making wooden toys. Then he got into plastics, making these early binding bricks. But the real magic, the absolute game changer, came in 1958. That's when Lego patented the stud and tube design. That's the secret sauce, that perfect clutch power that lets the bricks snap together so satisfyingly. And guess what? It hasn't changed since. You know, even the company's name tells you everything. Lego is just a squish together of 2 Danish words, leggot. And what does that mean? Play well. That wasn't just some marketing slogan. It was literally the mission statement baked into the company's DNA from day one. And they had this motto that backed it all up: only the best is good enough. Ole Kirk Christiansen was absolutely obsessed with quality. There's this amazing story that his son tried to cut corners once, putting only 2 coats of varnish on a batch of wooden ducks instead of 3. Well, Ole found out and made him stay up all night, track down the shipment, and apply that final, proper 3rd coat. That kind of commitment, that's what would define everything for them.
But the story wasn't just a straight, easy build. Not at all. By the early 2000s, the entire Lego empire was actually on the verge of complete and total collapse. Just look at this. By 2003, Lego was losing $1 million every single day. They were drowning in $800 million of debt and staring bankruptcy right in the face. The brand had totally lost its way, branching out into all sorts of things, jewelry, theme parks, that had nothing to do with their core idea. So, to save themselves, Lego pulled off one of the greatest business comebacks in history. And the plan was so smart. First, they went back to basics. They cut almost a third of their products just to focus on that classic brick. Then, instead of seeing the digital world as an enemy, they jumped in, launching these huge blockbuster video games and movies. They built this whole ecosystem, and, this is so important, they finally started paying attention to a forgotten audience, adults who'd grown up with Lego. They started making these huge, complex sets just for them. And the result of all that? Well, from losing $1 million a day, the company's revenue hit almost $13 billion in 2023. That makes it the biggest and most profitable toy company on the planet. What a comeback. Okay, so that incredible turnaround didn't just save the company's future. It also helps us understand why a Lego brick has 2 totally different kinds of value today. It's both a treasure and it's a tool. So that golden C3PO we started with, it's not a fluke. It's just the peak of this massive collector's market. I mean, look at this. A wooden prop from the Ninjago movie is worth over $100,000. A Comic-Con exclusive Spider-Man? $20,000. Even a solid gold brick they gave to longtime employees is worth $15,000. It's wild. So who's driving all this? Who's paying these prices? Well, it's that exact group Lego rediscovered, the AFLs, which stands for Adult Fans of Lego. This is a huge, passionate global community that collects, builds, and trades. They've turned rare Lego sets into a legitimate investment class that's actually outperformed things like gold and stocks. So the financial side is staggering, there's no doubt. But is that really the true value of a Lego brick? I mean, the whole company was built on this idea of playing well. And it turns out that value might be even more important. This is the really crucial part. Playing with Lego has actual scientifically proven benefits.
For kids, it's amazing for things like spatial reasoning and math skills. But for everyone, it boosts creativity, it teaches you persistence, it hones your problem-solving skills. It's literally a tool for building better minds. And hey, this isn't just a nice theory. LEGO did their own huge survey in 2022, and get this, more than 3/4 of adults said that playing with LEGO has a positive impact on their wellness and is actually fundamental to their happiness. So that original mission to play well, yeah, it's still delivering big time. All right, let's snap all these pieces together for our final build. We've looked at this incredible history of quality, a business that almost collapsed and then had this amazing comeback, and a product that holds two totally different kinds of value. When you get right down to it, LEGO lives in two worlds at once. On one side, it's a toy. It's a system for play that helps build skills and happiness for, the builders of tomorrow. But on the other side, it's a treasure. It's a store of financial value based on rarity for the collectors of today. The real genius of the brand is how these two identities don't compete. They actually make each other stronger.
Which leaves us with this one last huge question to think about. What can we all learn from a simple plastic toy that manages to build multi-billion-dollar empires, priceless collector's items, and the very problem-solving skills we all need for the future? It kind of seems like that simple promise to just play well ended up being the most valuable blueprint of all.